Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. French President Emmanuel Macron, representing the G7 presidency, is set to visit Japan from March 31st to April 2nd, followed by a trip to South Korea from April 2nd to 3rd. The primary objective of these visits is to discuss a unified response to the current Iran situation, which has led to significant economic impacts such as soaring crude oil prices, affecting Japan, South Korea, and France alike. Macron's office stated that the Middle East crisis would be a central agenda item. Beyond the immediate crisis, the visit to Japan also aims to confirm cooperation ahead of the G7 summit in Evian, France, in June, and to bolster security collaboration with China's increasing assertiveness in the Indo-Pacific region in mind. Additionally, France and Japan plan to enhance ties in various sectors, including nuclear energy, artificial intelligence, AI, global health, and space. This news comes from Yahoo News. The United Nations on Saturday urged Yemen's Houthis to cease further involvement in the Middle East conflict, specifically condemning their recent missile and drone attacks. According to Sinwanet, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres' spokesperson, Stéphane Dujarric, expressed concern that these actions, including missile strikes against Israel earlier today, risk significantly expanding military conflict across the region. The UN emphasized the critical need for all parties to respect international law, including humanitarian law, and fully comply with UN Security Council Resolution 2768, 2025, and subsequent resolutions regarding Houthi attacks on merchant and commercial vessels. The Houthis confirmed launching ballistic missiles at sensitive Israeli military sites in southern Israel, marking their first such attack since the United States and Israel began extensive operations against Iran a month prior. The group asserted its legitimate right to confront what it terms brutal American-Israeli aggression against Iran and the wider region, stating its intervention is part of a broader regional strategy involving Iran, Palestine, Iraq, and Lebanon. Hundreds of Japanese citizens gathered in Tokyo's Shinjuku district on Saturday evening to protest an active duty self-defense forces, SDF, officers' intrusion into the Chinese embassy. Protesters held placards and chanted slogans, demanding that the Japanese government apologize to China for the incident and take responsibility. Their calls were notably directed at the Japanese government and Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi. According to the Chinese embassy in Japan, the SDF officer forcibly entered the embassy premises on Tuesday morning by climbing over a wall and allegedly threatened to kill Chinese diplomatic personnel. The embassy has since lodged solemn representations and a strong protest with the Japanese side, demanding a responsible explanation. As reported by China.org.cn, the Japanese government has thus far only described the incident as regrettable without issuing an official apology or announcing concrete accountability measures. This news comes from China.org.cn. According to Sing Jo Won, Malaysia's Agriculture and Food Security Minister, Datuk Seri Mohammed Sabu has called on citizens to be prepared and grow their own food at home, such as chili, vegetables, and traditional herbs. Ulam, given the uncertain situation in the Middle East. This initiative aims to reduce reliance on external food supplies. Mohammed Sabu stated in a Facebook post that even small living spaces can be utilized for this purpose. The minister emphasized that the conflict in the Middle East is broadly impacting the global regular food supply, an effect that will eventually be felt by consumers. While urging individual efforts, he assured that the government continues to strengthen the national food system to ensure sufficient food and smooth market operations during this crisis. Everyone should do their part, starting with existing resources. NHK reports that protests against U.S. President Donald Trump and the recent attacks on Iran have been held across the United States. Organizers, under the banner of No Kings rallies, mobilized demonstrations on Saturday in all 50 states and over 3,000 locations, marking 1 month since the U.S.-Israeli operations against Iran began. Protesters in Washington, D.C. displayed placards demanding an end to the fighting and expressed frustration over surging oil prices. Concerns were widely voiced regarding the potential for a prolonged conflict and its human and financial costs. A 67-year-old woman from Pennsylvania questioned the justification for attacking Iran without an imminent threat, while an 18-year-old worried about more debt and more dead Americans and more dead children. A Vietnam War veteran drew parallels to the Vietnam situation, noting Iran's unexpected resistance. Protesters in New York denounced the attacks as a waste of American tax dollars, and a high school student criticized Trump for involving the country in wars despite his earlier promises. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.